She began saying he is the main male figure in her daughter's life, and that he was the closest thing my niece had to a father. When my niece started talking and familiarizing herself with our roles, she would call him uncle, and then all of a sudden she started calling him daddy. I would always gently correct her and say, "No, darling, that's your uncle." But one time my sister heard this, and she yelled at me for correcting her daughter and said that I need to leave it alone, that it doesn't matter if she calls my boyfriend daddy. This is when I got really uncomfortable and put my foot down and told her that she needed to stop confusing her daughter and stop allowing her to think that my boyfriend is her daddy. I feel like my sister knows that letting my niece call my boyfriend daddy is only going to confuse her, but I also feel like she doesn't care because she just pretends my boyfriend is the daddy. After that fight, things got quite tense between us, and my sister started snapping at me over everything that I did. And this is all the while still mooning over my partner and telling him how amazing he is. A few times my partner had to stick up for me and tell my sister not to speak to me like that in our house, which always bruised her. Things hit a boiling point last weekend. She asked us to babysit my niece for a couple of hours while she gets her hair trimmed. This wasn't ideal, as my boyfriend was doing something that required a lot of concentration, and he needed some quiet time in that morning to do it. Plus, we had an engagement later that afternoon, so I reluctantly agreed, but explained to my sister that we needed to leave at a certain time, so she really had to be back by then. As a side note, my sister is very disrespectful of other people's time and has no regard for other people's lives. It's always all about her. So I took my niece to the park and let my boyfriend have some peace and quiet. We played for a while, then sat and had a coffee and some ice cream for the kid at my local cafe before eventually returning home. I expected my sister to be returning soon too, as she agreed, but as you could probably guess, she was a no-show. Time is ticking. My boyfriend and I really need to get going. I'm ringing my sister and she's still not answering. I'm stressed. Then all of a sudden she turns up 40 odd minutes late. I'm upset, but I don't even have time to get into it with her, so I just say goodbye to my niece. That's when my sister noticed what she insisted was mold on my niece's shoes. She asked me in a very loud voice if I let her walk in puddles, and I said she may have accidentally stepped in a puddle while at the park, but she wasn't jumping in them intentionally. My sister then started ranting like a lunatic, screaming at me that I was not to let her go in puddles without gumboots, and that because of my thoughtlessness, the shoes are now moldy. I said that's not how mold works. It doesn't grow after 3 hours. It can't be mold. Or if it is mold, it isn't there because of me. Mold simply doesn't grow in 3 hours. But my sister can't be told. She screamed at me, called me thoughtless and an idiot with no common sense or any maternal instincts.